Welcome everyone to the Architecture Corner.
Great to be here.
Today we're going to get into something really really interesting, especially if you've ever worked with NoSQL databases like DocumentDB.
Ah, yes. Change data capture. CDC.
Exactly.
Yay.
CDC. And not just what it is, but how it's getting, well, a serious upgrade in the cloud environment.
Mm-hmm.
We've been looking at some fantastic insights, particularly an article from Mario Bittencourt that honestly makes this pretty complex stuff much clearer.
Yeah, it breaks it down well.
So our goal here is to give you a shortcut, help you understand these really critical architectural tools without getting totally bogged down in all the tiny details.
So getting straight to the point for the builders out there.
Right. Okay, so let's unpack this. How DocumentDB Streams, especially when you pair them with serverless tech, might just be the cure for your NoSQL CDC blues, as some are putting it.
It's a good way to frame it because CDC fundamentally it changes how applications can talk to each other, how they integrate. Well, at its core, it's a pattern, right? It connects different systems by basically watching for the changes, the deltas, happening inside a database.
Okay, just the changes.
Exactly. Think about it. Databases like MySQL, PostgreSQL, they already create these transaction logs. It's part of how they work.
Right, for replication and recovery and things like that.
Precisely. That log captures every single operation. And CDC, well, it cleverly leverages that existing mechanism.
So these logs are just
Yep.
there, doing their thing quietly in the background.
Pretty much. And traditional CDC tools, maybe you've heard of Debezium or AWS DMS.
Yeah, familiar names.
They essentially tap into those logs. They let you stream those database changes out to other places. It's like having a live ticker tape of everything happening.
A live feed, I like that. But what were maybe the tricky parts or the challenges with that older approach that these newer solutions are trying to fix?
That's a really good question because while getting that stream is powerful, actually managing it reliably, especially when you scale up,
Yeah.
that could get complicated.
How so? What kind of complications?
Well, you had to build logic for error recovery. What happens if something hiccups? Making sure the changes arrived in the right order, keeping those connections alive. It wasn't trivial.
Okay, I can see that.
And maybe we should touch on why this pattern is so valuable in the first place.
Yeah, good idea. Where does it really shine?
It's incredibly useful if you're dealing with, say, a closed source application, or maybe a big legacy system where you just can't easily change the source code.
Ah, so you can get data out without touching the original system.
Exactly. Too costly, too risky sometimes. CDC lets you observe the changes externally. It's also fantastic for implementing something called the transactional outbox pattern.
Transactional outbox. Okay, tell me more.
It helped you reliably do two things at once. Save some data to your database and publish an event about it. Think about placing an order and sending a confirmation email. You need both to happen, or neither. CDC helps guarantee that reliably.
Right, coordinating distributed actions. That used to be a real headache.
Definitely. So it offers a lot of flexibility. And bringing it back to DocumentDB, our focus today, it actually has this capability built in now to expose changes as streams.
Built in, so you don't need an external tool necessarily?
Well, you need to enable it. It's off by default. But yeah, you flip a switch and you can connect and get those updates directly from DocumentDB as they happen.
Okay, so you could immediately react to changes, maybe pull real-time metrics from an older system you integrated.
For sure. But historically, even with the native stream, you still had that management burden I mentioned. You had to maintain the connection, handle resuming after errors, or restarts yourself.
Okay, so still some heavy lifting.
Right. But this is where it gets really interesting, and this is something highlighted in that article we mentioned. AWS recently updated Lambda's event sources.
A Lambda, the serverless compute service.
Exactly. Lambda can now be triggered directly by DocumentDB Streams.
Okay, that sounds like a game changer. So instead of me writing and managing all that connection and error handling code,
Lambda handles it.
Lambda just gets triggered automatically when there's a new change in the stream.
That's it. It massively simplifies what used to be potentially complex, error-prone code. Suddenly, it's a managed solution.
Right.
It brings DocumentDB much more in line with, say, DynamoDB, which has had similar stream integrations for a while. You offload that operational headache.
So you can just focus on the actual business logic in your Lambda function. What do I do with this change event?
Exactly. Focus on your application's value.
That definitely sounds simpler for building reactive systems.
Yeah.
Huge advantages. But with any powerful tech, there are usually some things to watch out for. Any caveats?
Good point. There are a few things, yes. First, cost. Enabling streams does add some cost related to the stream I/O itself.
Okay, makes sense. Something to factor in.
Also, event retention. By default, the changes are only kept in the stream for 3 hours.
Only 3 hours. What if my processor is down?
You can extend that up to 7 days, which gives you a much bigger window for recovery, but it's not infinite.
Good to know. What else?
Another important detail, by default, the event you get only contains the fields that changed, the delta.
Not the whole document after the change.
Not by default. If you need the full document as it looks after the update, you have to enable a specific full document lookup option.
And that gives you the final state.
It gives you the latest state from the database when the lookup happens, which might be slightly different from the state exactly when the change event occurred if things are changing very rapidly. A subtle but potentially important difference.
Okay, that's a key distinction.
Yeah.
What about size? DocumentDB can handle big documents, right? Like 16 megs.
It can, yes. But the Lambda event source integration has a limit. It can only handle events up to 6 megabytes.
So if my 10 MB document changes, the direct Lambda trigger might not work.
Correct. If you consistently work with documents larger than 6 MB, that specific Lambda integration might not be the right fit. You'd need a different approach.
That's a crucial limitation to remember. Okay, so let's try and pull this together. CDC is this really powerful pattern, great for extending older systems or implementing things like the outbox pattern. And for document databases like DocumentDB, where changes often happen within one item, this stream approach is really natural, almost like event-carried state transfer.
Yeah.
The event itself tells you the new state, or can get it easily.
Pretty much, especially with the full document lookup.
And this new DocumentDB Streams integration with Lambda just makes it operationally so much easier. Takes away a lot of the plumbing work.
Absolutely. It lowers the barrier significantly. If we zoom out a bit, connect this to the bigger picture. What this enables is really versatile options for building modern applications.
How so?
Well, it gives you powerful tools for scalable, truly event-driven architectures, systems that can react instantly to things happening in your data. It lets you adapt and evolve your systems with, honestly, surprising agility.
Yeah, leveraging those underlying database logs to build reactive systems feels very efficient.
It's all about making your architecture more responsive, more adaptable.
Fantastic stuff. It definitely gives you more choice and power as we build more and more event-driven applications.
Agreed.
Okay, well, for more details on everything we discussed about DocumentDB Streams and CDC, please do check out the description for this session. And for more insights like this into the world of architecture, don't forget to subscribe, it's free, to the Architecture Corner newsletter over at architecturecorner.substack.com.
Definitely worth checking out.
Thanks for joining us, and we'll catch you next time on the Architecture Corner.